with you real quick because I've been doing quite a bit of research on my numerology and my numbers and so forth. And I wanted to share with you, like I told you guys, get your natal chart and so forth. And if you have any questions or if there's something you would like for me to look into, leave a note and we can get in contact and I can do it for you. This is for me, this is mine. And I have number 9. And moving on out of 9, around April, I will be going into 10, which is also 1. One part of the 10 activates. So, across. And it says when that 0 point is reached, the one part of the 10 activates like a lightning strike. In my Pacific chart, that lightning strike is already scheduled. The week Jupiter re enters my second house, sidereal, late May 2026, and it's right after Beltane. So, yes, even and especially as a 10, you are still in winter preparation. The 10 is not rushing me, it is protecting the magnitude of what is coming by forcing the deepest pull clean out first. So I have gone through similar type of changes a couple of times. And there was one time where I got rid of literally everything. I threw it in one of those big dumpsters. This is when I was at Choya Hall. And I always think about that moment, if and should I have done it differently than what I did. And especially because back then, um, I would do my own hair with, I had bought my own hair dryer. I had like a lot of different items to do my own natural hair. So I didn't do wigs and all that kind of stuff. I didn't know about that until later, which you can see on my timeline, the introduction of wearing an actual wig, which saves a lot of time, especially if you're in the entertainment industry. It's a quick way to get yourself together and looking good quickly. Because with natural hair, it's a little difficult to keep it in a particular style for me. Others may not have this issue, but I do. So I found wigs to really be beneficial in that area. However, the point conversation, what we're talking about this evening, is our numbers, master numbers, numerology, and how all of this intertwines together with your experiences and the seasons and the changes and so forth that we go through. Some are natural, some are part of our astrological makeup. And I have to tell you, it took a moment for me to get the right combination, the right information for my set of astrological alignment. It kept wanting to give me something just under Aries or just under Taurus. And then when I put the mixture together, it still wasn't quite grasping me as the individual, even after I put in all this information. So I see why some people feel that astrology sometimes just isn't on, quite aligned right with who they are. But I beg to differ. I think if you keep at it and you keep inputting your information and feeding out, knowing more and more about yourself, you're going to get down to the nitty gritty of what it is that who you are and how you can grow and what makes life a little bit easier for you once you've gathered all that information. So it is a challenge. It's not an easy it the shadow. Let's just start there. You know how people talk about you have to face your shadow. You have to deal, some people call them demons and all that kind of stuff. And I told you guys before that a lot of that stuff I just really didn't experience just because of the lifestyle and how I grew up. And most of my friends and family were older. They owned their own homes, so I just had a different experience than most people. But I wanted to share this with you because I think it's very important. Being the fact that we're in the winter season right now, for some people, you may be on a different point. But for me right now, I'm in my winter season, and it's just it's confirming what I already kind of know. But I like to kind of see where I'm at and if I'm on the right path, if I'm thinking correctly, or am I missing something, or should I be doing something different than what I believe I should be doing? So below, it's giving me a structured guide focusing on career and personal development domains to facilitate this effectively. And being that I like doing the YouTube and social media and so forth, there are other channels that I would like to develop, but now isn't the time to actually spin off another channel. So I have the other channels. We could talk about that at a later date if you want information, especially when it comes to playing lottery and things like that. I have a totally separate channel for that. And I've been winning, and those winnings is what has enabled me and helped me to go ahead and do my um, reviews and things like that. So I have enough money to tell you about the food that I'm trying out and if you should try it too. I always tell you guys to try it because sometimes what I like you may not like, and what you like, I may want it to be spicy. Not everybody likes spicy food. So I've been documenting everything. I've been doing these cycles every so many years anyway. So this doesn't feel new to me, but I wanted to do something different so it doesn't feel like the same old, during the winter, put your summer stuff away. Then when summer comes around, you put the winter stuff away. I wanted something a little bit deeper than that type of lifestyle. And so I've really did some drastic changes. And within those drastic changes, I didn't expect to have um, the other issue of someone stalking me. And I understand that comes along with the territory of being online. All eyes are looking at you from different angles and so forth. Folks that you don't know, and people having opinions that you don't even know, but yet they've come to this conclusion on their own without ever speaking to you, without even having a word of hi. You know what I'm saying? So that's new for me. However, I've chosen to go ahead and share this with you guys because I've had some good feedback um, by others who said that this has helped them. So that is what one motivator that I decided to go ahead and continue on doing this. Um, so this is Grok. I don't know if you've heard of them. I like using them quite a bit. They have a membership you have to sign up to use their services and so forth. But I like to run ideas by them. It's also AI, and it helps me to make my little pictures and stuff that I enjoy to be able to share with you information. A lot of times, me saying something isn't quite the same when they have a visual to go along with it, just like the stalking laws and so forth. And then you have California telling you about their laws, especially elderly. With me being 55 and up, they have a different set of circumstances for people who are elder and being stalked. So, being stalked and the lines of racism and things like that, it can all go under the same type of concern. However, like I keep telling you guys, you don't want to give away your power. So that's why we put up that saying that you want to say in the morning, noon, whenever you feel a little bit uncomfortable, or you just want to say it. It's up to you, however, that it works in your life. But this here is just cycles in life, patterns, ways that we live. And for me, learning and improving, doing something different, especially at this age of 55, I've always cleaned out old stuff. And like I told you guys, my passenger side in the vehicle, this vehicle is not only my wheelchair, but it also is my office. So I've been sorting through papers ever since 2016. I've been getting rid of a lot of stuff from my businesses, from the nonprofits and so forth, so that I could revamp them and bring them in a different form to be able to help others and be of service. Here in California, maybe branch out, but home, my base is California. So, um, accessing the inventory and the cycle. Now, most people sometimes get rid of literally everything. I don't necessarily recommend that because I've done that before, and some of that stuff still stays on my mind where I wish, damn, I wish I had not, I wish I had not got rid of that stuff because the quality just haven't been there. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic and everything, and we didn't have the supplies and things just didn't go as well. Said hi. Hey, Chris, I appreciate you coming through this evening. I am chatting about assessing your life and the inventory and the cycles that we go through in life with the winter, um, spring. What do we got? Winter, fall, not fall, autumn. They don't say fall. They say autumn. So it's winter, spring, summer, and autumn. Okay? And within those cycles, certain things that we want to do that helps smooth out our goals and staying focused. I hope that summarize it easily and quickly, because I don't want to hold you guys. I'm just really trying to add a QA sticker, liking it, try it. They didn't reboot. Okay, so I'm just trying to hear him get this out because I didn't want to hold you guys too much. I know it's 6:16 p.m. because we're not eating after 6 p.m. Remember that, guys. That also helps with the gut, and it helps with being able to focus on your goals and your weight and sugar intake and all that other good stuff to be able to maintain even during difficult times. So that's what I've set for myself, and I'm just sharing it with you guys. You let me know if it's something better that may work for you. Like some people, they like doing their fasting on the weekends instead of having Saturday as eat what you want day. So it just depends on what's working for you. But back to the assessment and inventory cycles um, for the seasons and so forth. So for me, for the winter seasons, I've been documenting and the elements of the outgoing cycle. So I review the past 9 years. Wake up to fruit so that it digests better before carbs or junk. I agree. Definitely, water for me is what I usually do first, the lemon water. I don't do any sugar or anything in it. But yes, definitely fruit. I think fruit is still a little bit of sugar though, so it really depends on what's going on with you in your body. For me, I have to I have to have water. I have to do something first along the lines with that acidy, lemony, lime type thing before I can do any fruit. Sometimes if I'm doing a total sugar detox, I won't even do fruit. I would literally just do the lemon water or the lime or mix it with the both. It just depends. But um, you have to take note of what's working for you and what's not. Because when I do a full cleansing, a lot of times I start with a dry fasting. And when I do dry fasting, that means I'm not talking. If I am, it's just a little something that I have to do just to get through the day. But when I do a total detox, I'm not talking, I'm not eating, I'm not drinking. It's really dry fasting. And that seems to really work for me when I'm getting rid of the inflammation, clearing my gut. And then sometimes I'll take a little spicy type pepper or something and drink with water just to help clear out some stuff. But it's not a regular type of cleansing. Sometimes I'll do salt water or different types of like a oil, and that helps draw a lot of that stuff out of your body. But we could always talk about it if it's something that you want to do or you're interested in, like apple cider vinegar. Some people like to use apple cider vinegar. Um, you said, I heard a small bit of vinegar can help too, but not sure of its effectiveness. Yeah, the apple cider vinegar is not the same as the old apple cider vinegar that I used to use. A lot of these products are just not as potent, and I don't know if it's the quality of the products, but they just don't work the same. And when you're used to using something for so long, you know the product, and when it's changed, you know also when it has changed. So I would suggest just trying different ones to see what works best for you. A lot of people don't use Brags anymore. I still occasionally get it when it's on sale, but a lot of people use different brands now. So you have to find what brand is going to work for you. Um, I still like the natural way with the lemon and limes. Uh, eating different foods that I know that help me. Grapefruit, pineapple. Um, but when I'm not doing any sugar, it's just strictly sometimes teas. I will drink the tea to help clear out the body. Um, it really just depends on what it is that will work best for you. So with the cycles and so forth and putting together our natal chart and everything, this just all helps to enhance your goal setting, time management, um, meal prep, ways to enhance your life. That's all that this is about. Is not to be stressful, is not really to pitch one way over somebody else's way. All of this is just ideas of something that you can try that may make your life a little easier, may help if you say you got acne, skin issues, or imbalanced hormones or what have you. You can eat your issues away. You can eat certain foods that help you through your day. If you have fatigue, then there's certain foods that you don't want to eat that's going to make you sleepy. Um, you really have to know the diet that works best for you. And so that's why I always say get your journal together, see how the week went. I love salads. Um, and I eat a lot of salads, and I eat a lot of fruit, and I eat a lot of veggies. I love if I go out to eat, especially Habit Grill. I like their tempura veggies with the fries, and you can do half and half. I love eating that. I could just order that and not even get a sandwich. But the favorite sandwich that I like to order with them is the one that has the avocado. And if you go sign up in the app, you can also get a free sandwich. They're always offering something in the app if you like to eat out and so forth and try different foods and different meals. For me, with my situation, being that I have the limited mobility and so forth, and I don't have the wheelchair, and I'm still, looking for the assistance and so forth to get the assistant gadgets to help me make my life easier and be able to achieve my goals and so forth. So I've just been sharing it all with you guys, just hoping and knowing that this can help somebody because you've given me the feedback to let me know that it has. So I really appreciate that. Um, but just because something works for me doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily work for you. So that's why I always stress get a journal, write it down, leave notes, sticky notes if you need to. This numerology that I'm speaking of here for you guys, it's just something that I put together because I wanted something different, being that I've been doing this for years. And I still think about some of the stuff that I got rid of. So that's why I don't necessarily think that it's wise to just throw away everything just to have a clean slate. Um, I like quality items, and when I buy quality stuff, I like to keep it as long as it keeps working. So it says here to um, begin by documenting the elements of outgoing cycle, review the past 9 years or relevant time frame across key areas, professional projects, relationships, habits, and beliefs. Create a comprehensive list, identify achievements, unresolved issues, reoccurring patterns, and items that no longer align with your evolving identity. For instance, in a career context, catalog outdated courses, marketing materials, client commitments, or digital assets. So I've been getting rid of old emails from years back. Um, I've been getting rid of all the documents that I had from when I first started the nonprofit. Just getting rid of stuff that I just no longer, literally no longer have no need for. And like I told you guys before, nobody's going to be looking for that information. So it was a waste of money and time to be storing it in the storage. And then the next set of items that I'm getting rid of is just clothing when I was a larger size. And I don't think that I will be dropping them off to recycle them because I wore them clothes to death. I mean, I really worked them clothes out. And some of them have splits on the side because when I kept getting inflammation and swelling, I didn't want to keep buying clothes to accommodate the weight increase. So I just wore those clothes and stretched them out and so forth. So I don't think it's going to be I wouldn't want anybody to give me something like that. So I don't think I'm going to be dropping those clothes off to be trying to recycle them. So um, I use them for cleaning rags. I need to wash the vehicle. So usually I just cut, down the middle or along the side or whatever and use them for cleaning rags and things like that. So it then says, use tools like journaling or spreadsheets for precision. Ask guiding questions. What served its purpose? What drains your energy without return? What represent incomplete karma or unlearned lessons? And I also told you guys about the karma that I just really didn't develop too much of that just because of, um, let me see here. Oh, it's asking me to, I'm going to get rid of that. If I wanted to ask you guys about, if I want to put a question up there, I was going to ask you guys what you thought about karma, but since we're live, I'll just tell you, give me what your definition is of karma and how it has applied to you. Because I sometimes think of karma in a different way. I've done a lot of good deeds because Rem Foley and Aunt Kath, I guess you say owned the church, but he was the pastor of the church, and then my aunt Sarah was a mother of a church, two totally different churches, and so forth. And then we used to always do a lot of um, nonprofit type stuff. So in that sense, I think I built a lot of good karma. But once that they all passed and so forth, and I went through that dark part of loss, losing my mother, my aunt, and not quite having that support because most of them had already passed. However, my cousin in SAC, I am very grateful for him, and I trust that they are doing well. And I always send much love and respect to them because he was telling me what it was like when his mother passed, and that was my favorite aunt. And he was just telling me since she had been sick, it does kind of change your experience with it because it's not necessarily sudden because you've gone through phases with that loving family member who has been ill and sometimes struggling. So you have a different process when it comes to the actual death. But for me, I wish I had at that time really wrote more about what he had told me. I got the gist of it, but I wasn't writing anything down. And his information was very useful for me, and it helped me process what I had experienced, similar to what he had already experienced. So listening to other people who have lost their mother, that's your mom, like you, there's no one, nothing else in the world like your mother, regardless of the relationship that you had or had. So I really appreciate that talk that him and I had that time. So when I think of releasing and going on to my next life path, I'm leaving 9, going into spiritually would be a 10, but most people change it into a 1. And I still use both because of my spiritual journey and then the other um, role that 10 versus 1 will play in my life. So also release emotional and energetic attachments, engage in reflective practices to detach psychologically. And I had to detach from not only my mother, my aunt, but the house. Remember, I told you everybody owned houses. So I always had a place to stay and so forth. But my mother's house was not, um, it was not adaptable for handicap. So I could not roll the wheelchair down into the house. When I was first diagnosed and had the wheelchair, she would have to come outside. We both would have to lift the wheelchair into the front door. And so at that time, I wanted her to adjust her home so that I could roll in with the wheelchair. And I told her, when you get older, you're gonna appreciate me paying for it because at that time I had resources that wanted to adjust whatever home that I would be living in. Well, unfortunately, she did not want to adjust the home. And very sad about the situation is 10, 15 years later, It was actually 16 years later, when she had her stroke. She couldn't get down into the home because of the way that it was made, and it was very sad. And then she had the house so, I thought that my brother would be able to take care and keep it and so forth. So I'm not sure what exactly happened with all that, but I had to release and let go of all of that. The house, my mother, even my brother, that relationship, everything, even my Aunt Mary and everything had just changed. So even though I was so happy to talk to them, Leslie and all them, and I didn't feel the reciprocated emotions and feelings and attachment. So I had to detach energetically, emotionally, everything, and release all of that. So I released what is complete, honoring its lesson. And what was the lesson in that? Well, like I told you guys before, I'm definitely an overgiver, but I also understood that you can't keep um, trying to make a relationship that just doesn't exist. It's almost like with a guy. Like you may really like a guy, but he may not be into you that much. And sometimes you just have to accept that and release those emotions that you've put towards that guy, or release the attachment to a possibility of even being with a guy. I know a lot of women um, sometimes say, well, if he's saying he likes you, actions speak louder than the words that come out of his mouth. So I've had guys really like, how come you haven't called or this, that? Even though I personally will call and plan stuff, but if a guy just to me seems like it's a sexual thing, that's a big turn off for me. I'm not really interested in that. I'm more of a relationship type girl. I've been in a long relationship with one guy, which was Keithy, was the longest. But then Keithy says it was the other guy, which he does never like to say his name. And both of them, I had to release and let go of that energy in order for me to have someone new at this age. So I had to let go, cut cords of all of that. And there's ways that you can um, say la vie without it being anything negative. It's just you're just cutting the ties. And if you are like me and you've been in a 10-year, 20-year relationship, 15-year, whatever, that's almost like your bestie, your best friend. So when you cut the cords and you let go, um, it's also a friend sometimes. It's great if you're able to keep the friendship and years later you guys are still friends. I think that is awesome. But for me, that wasn't the route that I took, and that wasn't how things worked out for me. So I had to let go of all of that, which I did years ago. So this time around, the reason why I was digging so deep, diving so deep, is because I wanted to see what else am I missing here after doing all that during college, letting go of those ties. Um, just really diving deep into knowing myself, what it is that I want this phase of my life. A lot of the stuff I still remembered because Sylvia and I, when we were younger in elementary, we used to do tarot card things and different spiritual stuff, and trying to see what gifts that we had from the divine and the light and so forth. So some of this experience I already knew, I already kind of had an idea, but I just had no way of knowing at this age how to start again this late in life. It feels weird. And then for somebody to be trying to stalk you at 55 and messing with your car and stuff. And I just think this whole thing is just weird, guys. I'm trying to tell you this, but I'm sharing it because I know that other people have like gone through this and or going through it or may never even. I'm just sharing my experience. So I'm not trying to downplay it or make fun or anything. I'm just telling you it feels odd a lot of times at this age when I've already experienced certain things, know about certain things, but to just really dive deep. Um, People say you have your own demons. I didn't feel like I had any demons to fight. What I felt is that I had to stop trying to heal everybody, save everybody, quit being the overgiver, quit being the loyal dog, quit being, there for everybody all the time. And so cutting the cord meant changing also my behavior of the core of who I am. We're talking about since childhood, being the little girl at the church, sometimes being a flower girl, sometimes helping with different stuff. You're interacting since little of helping people and doing the modeling with Fosse and doing whatever, different events, entertainments and stuff with the church, without the church, Sundays, first Sunday, all of that is just a role that I played in my life for a very long, long time. And each season I knew around Easter that I would have to stand up in front of everybody and recite something. You see what I'm saying? So that part of my life is dead and gone, and it will never come back. Nor am I looking for anywhere to go to church and pick that up. I'm not trying to pick that aspect of my life up. This at 55 is something totally new, something totally different than what I have ever experienced in my life. But I just have to say wholeheartedly and honestly that I am not used to people that I don't know being all in your business like that. So I understand it comes with the territory of being on this social media, but it's some days it just kind of weird to me. So I've been seeking out to get a little bit better understanding about this um, what do they call it? Stalking, gang stalking, and all that stuff. And these people doing stuff to you just so I can sit with somebody and understand what exactly is going on. I'll be very honest with you. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't have that mindset. And I know people say you manifest all that other stuff. Well, once I get a grip on it, then I'll be able to come back and share with you. I don't know what time span I will have a break from putting up content and talking to you guys about stuff. But that's what I'm working on. I've been leaving messages. Nobody's called me back. I did get a message from Sam's Club about the groceries being stolen, and I told him, I want compensation for it, especially because the girl was talking about she won't have to fight nobody today and all this stuff. I'm handicapping in the car. I don't get out the car. I don't get out the car. And I even told her the groceries. I've been sitting here the whole time. I didn't get the groceries. So when they don't want to help and stuff like that, I'm not used to that type of environment. And all of this is just I don't want to say a learning curve, but at this age, it is just something that I'm going to need somebody to take some time to explain some stuff to me at this age in a new era, in a new time with a new group of people who have not been culturally indoctrinate and what is that word for the education system has got you thinking a certain way. Everything, your movement, everything has been indoctrinated. You know what I'm trying to say. You have been programmed to think and act a certain way, and then when you have a group of people who are new to the culture or the societal norms, um, they they act and respond differently. It's like city life is different than, you know, being in a small town or not being in city life. It's different. The people are different. Culturally, you are responsible for yourself versus the old community ways that we all had came together. We would help out. Um, Here in this city life, I'm not experiencing that. So I have researched, just like I research my numerology and my thoughts on some stuff to get some feedback to make sure I was thinking along the right lines as to what I should be doing in circumstances like this. And I feel that I have been communicating, just like when I parked here. And, when the police say, well, why are you parked here? And I told them about the damage at the West Covina and all the stuff that happened. I'm not sure what else that I should be saying to get the type of assistance that I need. It's just like dealing with Medicare and your insurance and trying to get a wheelchair and still not have the wheelchair. So I hope that that makes sense. And people say, well, these people don't really want to help. Clearly I understand that. However, um, you have these programs, you have these phone numbers, and you have communication. So, I won't give up, and I'll let you guys know. So I'm sharing it all with you because a lot of people say that it's the system and that I'm being stalked systematically by the system in a way that it's um, using what they need out of me type thing, but yet they're not giving. So I was trying to understand all that. Like I said, I'm going to need somebody to really talk to me about this with the professionals, not people's opinion, but the people who are over these programs and the intake and so forth. Because when you are stalked, you don't just go to any place and say, okay, I'm going to need to stay here because I'm being stalked. There's certain steps and certain things that they do for you when you're being stalked. And um, I'm I'm still piecing it together, as you can tell. And I'm just sharing it with you along with this growth that I am going through when it comes to the life cycles and going into my new um, numerological, astrological information of what I should be experiencing. Does that make sense? And I use astrology and I use all of that to calculate my goals and if I'm on the right track spiritually. Because at the end of the day, as a spiritual being, I want to still be on the right path. Every time I got sick and near deathbed and all that, I always had a good um, encounter, whether it was the light, whether it was a family member I saw, whatever that it was, I always had a good um, experience. So spiritually, I am remaining in an aligned way to make sure that I'm still on the right course despite what goes on around me and despite my environment. So I hope that makes sense. Um, Anyway, okay, so the spiritual death aligned with lunar phases perform releases during waning moons or full moons to leverage natural dissolution energies. Dissolution. I hope I'm saying that right for you guys. Uh, Practical closure, execute practical closure. Systematically eliminate tangible remnants, archive or delete digital files, unsubscribe from irrelevant services, and conclude pending tasks, finalizing reports or communications. So I did all that. In professional settings, sunset offerings, notify stakeholders or discontinuations, redirect resources, and ensure no loose ends such as outstanding invoices or contracts. Declutter physical spaces. That's my storage that I've been doing. That's the passenger side of my vehicle, removing items tied to the old cycle, creating literal space for renewal, making space. This step reinforces the 0 point by minimizing distractions. So I'm not going to read all this, but I just wanted to give you what I've been working on and how I'm setting my intentions for the new cycle that's coming into my life. It says this method ensures thoroughness, preventing incomplete closures that could manifest an obstacle in future cycles. If applied consistently, it aligns with transitional energies such as those in a 10-1 personal year, which will be mine, guys, and I'm sharing that with you. Um, Amplifying subsequent growth. Should you provide details on a specific cycle or a domain, I can refine these steps for further. So I inputted all this information, and this is the feedback that it gave me. And like I said, I just wanted to share it with you because I had asked you guys before to get your natal chart together. If you wanted to go over some of the information, we can do so. If you wanted to know what life path you're on, what information uh, is relevant for you. And a lot of this stuff is basic information. So even if you are not a 9-year cycle period and what have you, the information can still be relevant when it comes to clearing out the old. And that's not something that's a negative, it's a positive. It's something that can be accessible and easily um, doable to improve your life and to complete goals and help maintain a particular lifestyle. So that's what it's been about for me, and that's what I'm sharing with you guys. And as you see, how to zero out old cycles. So I wanted to confirm, and like I said, I did it before when I was in college, and I still think about a lot of that stuff that I got rid of. I had some really nice, expensive glasses that when I was throwing away stuff, I accidentally threw them away along with the stuff I was throwing away. And I really love those glasses. I thought they were really nice. They're nice lens. They expect, a nice grip of money. And that's when I had that. Remember I told you guys that I had like extra insurance. I was like over insured. And that's when I had the JP Morgan insurance along with, um, the other stuff they give you when you take medical leave. So when I got the glasses, of course, it was through all that insurance. But anyway, during that time when I was changing from taking all that medicine, I had released so much stuff and got rid of stuff so that I could start anew. Even this time, they put together something stating I will no longer have the osteoarthritis and the pain and so forth. And I periodically still get the pain in the seasons and so forth, but by changing my diet, the foods that I eat, being a little bit more mobile, even though it can be painful because my hip is still twisted, um, all of that is still relevant. It's still a lifestyle that I have to incorporate in order to have peace, and having peace is essential to me. And like I said, the stalking, I take back my power so that the stalkers don't you know take away that peace, because my peace is means a lot to me. So overall, I'm grateful. I give my gratitude for it all. And someday I'll be able to give you more details. But for now, that's what's been going on with that issue, the stalking issue, and everything else, and trying to get assistance with the damage that has been done to the vehicle and the craziness. Um, all of it is just, to me, just seems really odd. Oh, terribly odd. Especially at 55. It's like, what in the world is going on with these people? It's just uniquely um, something that I'm sharing with you, and I'll just keep you posted. So for tonight, that's it. We've been on here 44 minutes, and I respect and love you all very much. I appreciate your comment tonight, Chris. If you guys have any questions, always note them below, and we shall chat later. Much love and respect. Have a good evening. Make sure you call your power back, north, south, east, and west. And we'll talk later.